Good evening. On behalf of the DPAC membership, I'd like to welcome you all here to DPAC Meet the Candidates Night. I'm Amy Rowe. I've served on the DPAC board this year, and to my right is Stacy Sweet, and we'll together moderate the event this evening. Thank you all in the audience for attending. First things, we'll start with introductions from each of you. You'll each have 2 minutes to introduce yourselves. And we'll begin with you, Maureen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maureen Sinzox. I have been a resident of the Rush-Henrietta community for about 16 years. I have been married to my husband for 20 years. His name is Jeff Sinzox. He's CEO for Epilepsy Prelude Foundation. I have 2 great kids. One just graduated from RH last year, and she's at UB now. And my other daughter is at the senior high school. She's a junior, and that would be Grace. Just to kind of go over my past, I have worked in the Rush-Henrietta School District at Leary initially as a paraprofessional, and then I went over to Winslow and I worked in the health office there. And I feel as though I've done a lot of volunteering through the years, which has been a lot of fun at PTO and Monster Bashes and book fairs, and I've also been a Girl Scout leader for many of the kids, and worked as a registrar and a board member for the Rush-Henrietta Soccer Club. And I'm currently also a booster member for the senior high school and a liaison for a couple of the sports teams. I currently work at Brighton High School in the main office as an administrative assistant. And that's about it. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Phyllis?
Good evening, I'm Phyllis Wickerham. I have been a resident of Rush-Henrietta for 30 years this month. We moved to the district when my oldest son, Scott, was in 2nd grade. My husband, Tom, and I moved here for work. He works at the DEC, and we have raised 2 children. Tyler is currently living at home. He's 26 with multiple disabilities, but moving into his group home soon. I started volunteering in the district when Scott was first in 2nd grade as room parent and as chaperones for some outings. And when Tyler was born, I got very involved with the district and have been very involved since Tyler was an infant. So I am interested in running for the Board of Education. Again, I'm sure most of you know, I've spent 9 years on the board because I believe in this district, and I have seen it come a long way with lots of good things happening, and I would like to serve the district and help it continue moving forward and gaining as much as it has over the past 30 years. Thank you.
Diane?
Hi, Diane McBride, currently a board member, been on the board for 13 years. I've been a life resident of Rush-Henrietta. I'm a graduate of the district, and so are my 3 children. When they were in school, I, probably like the rest of us, started out working through the PTAs and right on through their different activities, volunteering in the different aspects of what my children were involved in. My last volunteer opportunity when they were in school was with the RH Singers Parent Board. Previously a preschool teacher and adjunct instructor at MCC. I've been married for 38 years to my wonderful husband, who I think he's glad I'm out at night. Very passionate about this district, very passionate about what we have here in the district and seeing it move forward. Looking forward to our reconfiguration and being a part of that process. Just very excited about what we can do to maintain the student success that we have and making sure that there are resources for our staff and teachers to continue making sure each child is successful.
Thank you. Jennifer?
Good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Jennifer Laird. I am a lifelong resident of Rush-Henrietta. I'm not going to tell you how many years, but I'm a graduate from Rush-Henrietta. I graduated from Roth when it was a high school. Very proud of that. My children go here. I have a daughter in 11th grade, and I have a daughter in 8th grade. And I've been involved with the district since they went to kindergarten. Very pleased with the district. I am a teacher myself. I have a master's in education. I currently teach at the city schools where I've taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade for 17 years. Enjoy being in the classroom. I enjoy seeing what goes in the classroom, and I enjoy the enthusiasm children get from learning. My own children have done very well. I enjoy being room moms. I enjoy helping with PTOs, helping with functions. I've gotten the opportunity, probably they don't like it, but I've participated in the high school functions. I've gone with the bel canto singing groups on chaperoning trips. I really enjoy being with and around the students, and I am very excited at the opportunity of possibly serving as a board member. I think this district is doing wonderful things with the children, with their education and with the opportunities they give them, and I'm looking forward to continuing service in whatever capacity for the district.
Thank you. So the first question this evening is for Jennifer to start, and that is, what do you envision as your role and responsibilities as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member?
I think my first and utmost responsibility is for the children and the parents to be an advocate to what they need. I think that it's important to listen to what the parents and children are concerned about and what they envision for their future. College and career readiness is such an important role for children nowadays. I look at myself as an advocate for them, and I also look as an advocate for the teachers. Would be very exciting to go into classrooms and see what the teachers are doing, making sure all their needs are met. I think it's important that we listen to all of the stakeholders in the community. So my job would be to hopefully advocate and to make sure their needs are met.
Thank you. Diane, what do you envision as your role and responsibility as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member?
As a board member, our primary job is to provide policy to guide the district and to be able to staff, teachers, administrators, for everybody to know what their role is within the district, and utilizing that as a way to gather the information that we need to be able to provide the programming for our children, whether it's informal meetings or people coming to board meetings, but gathering their information, their concerns, their desires, and trying to fit that within the policy of the district. Jennifer talks about being an advocate, but I think that's what we do as board members, is advocate for all people within the district, all stakeholders. So I would think my role would continue that way if I were reelected, to provide best opportunities for give and take within staff, teachers, administrators, even within our colleagues on the board. There's a lot of give and take there of learning the interests of the community from each other and being able to provide back.
Thank you. Maureen, what would you envision as your role and responsibilities if you were elected as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member?
I would have to agree a lot with ladies. I also feel that I would be an advocate, and the other word that came to my mind would be a liaison between the community, the schools, and the board. I feel as though I'm excited about the opportunity to get out there and kind of meet people and go to the schools and speak to teachers and families about all the good things that are happening. And, if there's other things coming up, it's always a good opportunity to bring it back to the board. And as part of a board member or a board, to be a good team member with the other folks you're working with.
Thank you. And Phyllis, if you were elected as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member, what would you envision as your role and responsibilities?
Well, I think including everything that the other three ladies have said, our main focus is making sure that children are getting the education that they need to be successful when they move out into college and career. And I think that it's our responsibility as board members to make sure that we are getting the information on best practices. We are getting the information on what kinds of jobs opportunities will be out there for our students, and looking at whether our programs and services are meeting the criteria that the children will need, and as well as making sure that policies are following the direction that we would like to see the school move into. I think that for me, my responsibility as a board member would be to listen to the community, go out, talk, get to know, and really feel comfortable that what happens behind the board table is giving the community what they want.
Thank you. On the next question, Maureen will ask you to lead off. In September, we will begin the first year of reconfiguration. What do you anticipate the major challenges or concerns to be, and how would you help address those?
Yes, that'll be probably working in a high school office. I can foresee that there's going to be a lot of activity on those first few days with transportation and parents calling and just people being a little bit nervous about all of the changes. But I think it'll go really well. Seems like everyone here has done a great job in preparing people. But some of the challenges will be to continue communication with everyone, making sure that they're aware and just keeping in good touch with the family and the families. And I think my role would be to kind of get out there to the different schools, and maybe I'm out there a lot with activities that we have in our own family. So in talking to people and see how it's going. See if they're feeling like they're connected and if they understand the changes.
Thank you. Jennifer, in September, we will begin the first year of reconfiguration. What do you anticipate the major challenges or concerns to be, and how would you help address those?
I think we're going to look at making sure everyone's up. I know I'm going to have a ninth grader, and she's like, wow, I've got to get up early. So I think looking at making sure everyone's ready with a positive attitude. I think there's been a lot of preparation. I think it's going to be an adjustment, and I think with the preparation and with all of the work that they've done, hopefully it'll go smooth. Anticipating we'll take a look at the family's needs and questions they might have with busing, care, transportation, and making sure schedules look good, and make sure we still have the integrity for the programs that we have.
Thank you. Phyllis, in September, we will begin the first year of reconfiguration. What do you anticipate the major challenges or concerns to be, and how would you help address those?
Well, I think like any change, there are going to be challenges that we have not anticipated. But because I was a part of the board and the liaison to the district space committee when enrollment really got to a very lopsided issue, hearing about why the district needed to look at options. We looked at 17 different options and, of course, whittled it down based on practicality and cost and things like that. So I think that what we're going to be facing are the little things that didn't come up in all of our discussions. We went out to buildings and we heard from everybody, but we're still, I mean, I sit at the board meetings and I'm still listening to things that are presented to them with, oh, well, what about that? Well, I think that our role is going to be, as a board member, the role would be to assure people that we're listening, we're looking at all the different options that are going to be necessary to make it run very smoothly, And I honestly, I know that this district has done a very good job in really trying to guess what's going to happen, and I think a lot of the issues have been taken care of, but I think one of our roles would be to calm the fear, because we'll get through it. We'll get through it. We get through everything, so we'll get through it.
Thank you. And Diane, in September, we will begin the first year of reconfiguration. What do you anticipate the major challenges or concerns to be, and how would you help address those?
I think we've all said it here. The big thing is it's change. Change is never totally easy for everyone. As Phyllis mentioned, we have looked at every component that we possibly can to try and create a project that will fit the needs of the district. And we've tried to look at every little detail. And there probably will be some things that will come up. But change, helping people through as we get close to September. And I think the other piece with that change is being active listeners from day one throughout the year, to be able to listen and to evaluate and determine if there would be other changes that would be needed down the road. I think those are the primary.
Thank you. So Diane, I'm going to ask you to lead the next question, and that is, balancing the budget will become a bigger issue this district will face in coming years. How would you lead us through this time period, and what do you see as the priorities?
Everything's a priority. We are coming upon challenging times in our budget. With a tax cap, limited state aid coming to us, we're getting to a place of being stretched with our financial resources. We're at a point that we have looked at everything in our budget, and there really is not anything else to pull out. So the change, the guidance would be, where are the last areas that we can take those financial resources from? We as a board actively reach out to our state legislators to lobby for our needs, to see if there's opportunities for more state aid to come our way. And those are the things I think we have to keep doing to see if we can receive more help from the state. I really don't like to talk about a tax cap override, because in a community you only get to use it once. And we need to make sure when we do use it, it gets used at the right time. So we have to continue our advocacy to try and receive more help from the state, look within to see what else we can do without. And when we get to that point we cannot anymore, then we'd have to do that.
Thank you. Phyllis, balancing the budget will become a bigger issue the district will face in coming years. How would you lead us through this time period, and what do you see as the priorities?
Well, I think I've thought a lot about that question, because it is one of those topics that has been on the district's mind for a couple of years now. It is going to be a challenge, and I think that we need to get through that by really talking to our constituents, educating them on why the programs and services that Rush-Henrietta provides are beneficial, why they're successful, why they're necessary, and getting the public involved in advocating for the school district to our elected officials. I think that once you educate the public on the balances and imbalances, I mean, for an example, the increase in our state aid this year is 1.8%. But if you looked at our programs and services last year, and we want to keep them for this year, that increase is 3.9%. There's a huge gap there. So what do you look at when you have this much coming in, but this much going out? I think that people really need to understand that if that keeps continuing to happen, we have whittled down all of the extras right down to the bare bone. And if we can't get more money out of the state, then we're going to have to start looking at our programs. And the programs that are very important to our community, which we listened to when we were out talking about reconfiguration, is the small class size. That's their number one priority. But if you are, the budget, Rush-Henrietta's budget consists 70+% of payroll and benefits. So when you've cut everything off of everything else, that's the next level. That's increasing class sizes, reducing teachers. I think that what people really need to understand is the things that we value the most are going to be put in jeopardy.
Thank you. Next, Jennifer. Balancing the budget will become a bigger issue the district will face in coming years. How would you lead us through this time period? What do you see as the priorities?
Hopefully the priorities would be keeping our programs intact, and like Phyllis and Diane said, lobbying our government, lobbying the state, having parents go down, having board members go down, and hopefully letting them hear what we need and what the wonderful things our district's doing. It's a scary time with healthcare rising, with budgets already, like everyone knows, they're stretched. Just hopefully looking at our programs and seeing what we have and hopefully getting some increases in aid, and just looking at what we can do to hopefully keep our programs that we value intact.
Thank you. And lastly, Maureen, balancing the budget will become a bigger issue this district will face in coming years. How would you lead us through this time period, and what would you see as the priorities?
I would have to agree with everyone here. Once again, that it's a challenging time. We have a great school district, and we have a lot of great people that work here and support us. I would think that going to our local people would be beneficial to find out what else we can do, make it more of a stand, and perhaps look around to other areas to see how other places are handling it, which I'm sure you have done, but it just seems, not having done this part of the board, or, having that experience, I would probably approach it a little bit differently and just kind of hop in and see what we could do. Yeah, but yes, I agree. It'll be a challenging time, and go from there.
Thank you. All right, Diane, the last question that DPAC members have put together was, what do you want to accomplish as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot as I've been sitting here. What else can I accomplish? And I have to say that I'm still very, very passionate about our children and about making sure programs exist, that our students are college and career ready. So whatever it is that I would need to do as part of a team to keep this district moving forward, to make those programs stay alive. There's the sacred cows for everybody, the sports, the music, the arts, small class size, they're all important. And so for me, that's what I want to do, is I want to make sure that that stays in place. And I want to make sure that our staff, they have the resources to make that happen. It is challenging times with the budget, but for me as a board member, I see that as my role, my challenge, what I want to accomplish in the next 3 years.
Thank you. Next, Maureen, what do you want to accomplish as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member?
I feel I really have enjoyed having the kids have a smaller ratio of kids in their class with their teachers. So that is very important to me and our family, and they had a very successful time, and I see that as something very important. Not a lot of districts can do that or are doing that. The other thing I would also like to kind of try and take on a little bit is the college preparedness. I think we do a very nice job here, but since I'm kind of going through it myself right now, there's some things I wouldn't mind seeing either changing or perhaps we could add to what we offer our students here.
Thank you. Jennifer, what do you want to accomplish as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member?
I think what I want to accomplish is the maintenance of our programs that we have. I enjoy going to the music competitions and listening to the plays, and I want to make sure we can have our programs intact. And my accomplishments would be that I'm doing what the parents want and that the children and the teachers need. My accomplishments will be listening to them and trying to support what they need.
Thank you. And lastly, Phyllis, what do you want to accomplish as a Rush-Henrietta Board of Education member?
I think for me, making sure, like all the other ladies have said, that Rush-Henrietta continues to gain the respect that it has earned these past several years by providing a very high-quality education. I think that one thing that we really need to be proud of, and I would like to see that maintained, is our special education programs. When Tyler first was diagnosed with severe special education needs, this district did not include children in the district. They were sent out to BOCES and they were sent out to outside placements. And now we have a very inclusive, very welcoming community in this district, and I want to see that continue. We are going to have a difficult time over the next couple of years because very few people know, but we had 50 families move into this district last year with kids with very significant needs. That's a huge cost, and that's something that we cannot not pay for. So when you're looking at significant needs with a price tag that you can't say, oh, no to, we really have to think outside the box on how we can educate students with learning disabilities and all of the other baggage that comes with them, and make sure that we're still maintaining an excellent program for our typically learning kids. So for me, my accomplishment would be I'd like to see our special education program grow into be more inclusive and keep our district growing in its reputation. I'm just so happy that people come to us now looking for information, for best practices, and I'm very proud of that.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll now shift questioning to any of those of you in the audience who'd like to ask a question. Again, I just want to remind you that we'll do so at the podium. If one of you at a time would go up with the purpose of introducing yourself, providing your address, and then asking just one question. After each person that would like to ask a question has done so, then you're able to get back up and to ask a second question if you've got more than one this evening. We'll have approximately 15 minutes for questioning. Each nominee will have 2 minutes to answer your questions. Anyone interested?
Hi, I'm Pam Reinhardt, 208 Elverstone Way. I actually have a couple of questions, but we'll see if anyone else has questions. One of the things you've all spoken about was wanting to be able to be in the schools and be able to be part of what's going on, especially for the new people who are here. Do you have the time and the flexibility in your day to be in the schools during the day, to be able to participate, to be able to see what's going on? I hope you have a sense of what time it will take to be a board member. It's not just nighttime meetings. So I guess my question is, do you have the flexibility and the time during the day to be able to be in the schools to see what is happening?
Okay, so we'll start with Maureen, please.
Hi.
Hi, Ryan.
I have a very supportive husband who's very excited about this adventure, and my kids as well. And that way, I do have the support to get out and participate. I know it is, there are times when I'll need to go to schools and participate with different activities. Luckily, I also have a very supportive job who knows that I'm going through this process right now, and they're very excited about it too. So in that way, yes, I feel like I do have the time.
Thank you. And Phyllis, would you like to answer that as well?
Well, I have 9 years' experience in and giving that flexibility. My husband and family are very supportive of the time that I spent out of the house, and still do, because I like to keep active in the district, and I do not work, so I am able to do those morning visits and do those lunchtime visits, and do the committee meetings with Monroe County School Boards. So I have a lot of flexibility in my schedule.
Thank you. And Diane, next.
Sure. Being aware of that, I have to say, my family is very supportive of the time that it takes to be involved in all the activities. This year was a little bit of a change at work. It's ebb and flowed with school visits and things I've been able to do during the day, but they are very supportive of that, and if it's all possible to make those visits and those other opportunities happen, they're very supportive of it at work.
Thank you. And Jennifer?
Yes, that was something that I had to think about before, because when I do something, I want to do it 100%. And I spoke in depth, or I tried to figure out what I could do and to make sure I would, because I am a working mom, and I had a late start school, which gives me a lot of flexibility in the mornings, and I do also know the commitments during the day, and I'm able to do it. And I have a husband right now who's doing carpools and a very supportive family at home, so I'm definitely able to make the time commitment that's needed.
Thank you.
What do you think the greatest impediment to those goals is? And what do you think you can do as a board member and as a part of a board to be able to overcome those impediments, to be able to move our district towards those goals?
Okay. So Phyllis, can you lead us?
Thanks, Amy. Wow, Pam. I'm having a hard time answering this one. Because I don't see impediments as much as I see opportunity. I think that when the district sets its goals to achieve, for example, the educational standards that we have set for the past several years, I think that what we need to do to keep moving students ahead is really evaluating. Look at what is keeping that child from moving ahead. What is keeping that particular grade level from moving ahead? What is, and really digging deep into the data and finding out how can we support this. The challenge is going to be with that is funding it. If we get to a point where our budget is so tight that our ELA and math coaches are not going to be available to help teachers identify those things, then I think we're going to have to do some creative thinking with that. It'll be an opportunity to go out and see what happens at other places that have the same struggles that we do. I think that that's how we address all of our board goals with the parent communication. There's been a great deal of thought and energy put into that, and it's working. So it's just for me, it's it's an opportunity to learn more.
Thank you. And next, Diane, would you like the question repeated?
I think
You're good?
I think
Okay.
I have it, yeah. Kind of like Phyllis, I'm a glass half full kind of person, and I like the way that the district sets the goals and the board sets goals, and we take those opportunities to try and learn more about what the district goals are, so we have a better understanding, so that we're able to work together as a team throughout the district to overcome any challenges. I think overcoming opportunities, we have to be good listeners. We have to just take time to sit back and listen and hear through the situation, and not have knee-jerk reactions to things. We're a very collaborative board. We really work very well together, and I just think keeping that process going and working well with the district administration will overcome things. They might not always be the easiest, but we'll overcome. I know this district has done it before, and we'll continue to do that.
I think as a board member, the collaboration, what the ladies have said, the collaboration, working toward the goal, working with parents, teachers, whoever is having trouble with the goal. I think in today's society, you need to be collaborative. You need to be able to work together, listen to other people and hear their ideas. And I think as a board member, that's one of our responsibilities, is to try to be more collaborative.
Thank you. And Maureen?
It's good for us who haven't been through this part before to hear about that a little bit more. I guess I would have to agree with what the ladies have spoken about. It also being creative and working together, since we're working for one group of people. It would be good to hopefully try to get the goals that may not match to somehow come together with some creativity, compromise.
Thank you. Do you have any additional questions from the audience? No? Okay. All right. So we'll then move on with closing comments. Each of you will have an additional 2 minutes to provide some closing comments, and we'll be starting with you, Diane.
I have been very grateful to be able to have served in this capacity for these 13 years. There's so much going on, and it's a great time of change. Just see it evolve and to see our students thrive, develop, and like I've mentioned before, listen and evaluate and see what we can do to change, to make things better, not just for our students, but for our staff as well. I'm very passionate about children, I'm very passionate about giving them opportunities to grow, to develop, to become wonderful citizens of this community. And so I would just be very honored to have that privilege to continue that work. Thank you.
Thank you. Maureen?
I would love to become part of the board for Rush-Henrietta. I am very excited about this opportunity. We've had a wonderful experience with our children here, and we have family members yet coming through that I would love to be more a part of the way things occur for our district. I feel like I have some different experience. I've worked in the schools as a paraprofessional, and I've worked at one of the other elementary schools, and I probably look at things a little differently with that. And I just think I'm very motivated and would have quite a bit to offer for this position. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Phyllis?
I want to thank everyone for coming tonight, for joining us and listening to us talk about ourselves mostly. And I believe that I would make a very good board member because of the historical knowledge that I have between the reconfiguration and the growth in our special education programs. I believe that this district works very hard to communicate and collaborate and really understand what the families in this community are and what they need. And I believe that I have a lot of value to give back still to the board, and I would be extremely grateful for a position to sit on the board again.
Thank you. And just Jennifer.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. This is an exciting opportunity. The district is facing reconfiguration. We've got a lot of opportunities, and I'm excited at the prospect of possibly serving and helping the district through these opportunities. I have children going through the district, and I think that as a parent, I can offer some perspectives. As a teacher, as an educator, I look forward to maybe lending my experience to the board. And I think it's an exciting time. Our district has a lot of wonderful things to offer, and I think it's I'm looking at it as a time for myself to come aboard and to participate more in our policies and our opportunities that are coming.
Thank you. Great. That concludes the 2017 DPAC Meet the Candidates Night. Thank you all for attending, and thank you again.
Thank you.